Crypto Girl should be here in a second, but we can kick it off. You know, I think I'll start off with this. I think the most misunderstood thing about Richard is every person, every comment I see doubting him in whatever way, it always excludes this idea of glory. It's always this, I don't trust him. I don't trust the narrative. You know, he hasn't done anything for us. You know, what have you done for me lately type of thing. You forget all the amazing stuff that happened, you know, 2 or 3 years ago. Like, it's like this whole fresh perspective. And it feels like just new people coming in and not knowing the man, not listening to hours and hundreds of hours of his streams, and not seeing he cares about longevity research.
Yep.
He cares about making the world a better place. He cares about being a great man and a lot of different verticals. And those are the pieces that when people, and again, every news article, everything somebody shares this negative hit piece that's usually inaccurate and you know, every which way, it never shows what he's actually about, because there was these different phases he went through, 4 different strategies and all these ways that are probably going to become much more obvious in the future when he's sitting down with 60 Minutes telling the story of how glory came to PulseChain. So yeah, I think it's just like, that's the most misunderstood thing about Richard, is every argument against him is completely void of the glory narrative, which is the strongest thing in the ecosystem, I think.
Yeah.
Crypto joins us as well.
Hey guys. Some of my favorite streamers right here. How are you guys doing?
Great.
Welcome.
Good.
You came to the,
and my favorite community.
You came to the Richard Hart Roundtable. Got a lightning talk talking about his, and you may have just missed a very underrated video that I don't think anyone has seen. Very few people have seen or remember that I joked it was a pre-recording of Richard, but it was a video of him showing off some swag. It's pretty fun. But yeah, sure, we'll go back later and watch it.
I love the video clips you've been sharing, Max. Sorry for hopping in late, guys. I'm just taking a work break. But yeah, who is Richard Hart? I actually have never met Richard Hart, so I can't speak for who he is in person. But from what I can see, I would say Richard Hart is the best crypto founder because he cares the most about his investors. No other crypto founder cares more about their investors than Richard Hart does. There's so many ways to determine that. First, he's the one that fights the strongest for crypto freedom, so that we have the freedom of speech on the blockchain, so that we have better regulations on DeFi, and he warns us about CeFi, like FTX. He saved me from Celsius. He's warned us about scams all over, all these fraudulent projects and things to watch out for. He teaches his community from all his past live streams. He teaches us a lot. And SJ, as you were talking about Scivive yesterday, he wrote Scivive just to help people. So major philanthropist, and then raised the most for longevity research, 27 million. But he definitely cares the most about his crypto investors. And he's the only crypto founder that doesn't dump on the investors holding that project, holding the coins of that coin and token. So that's who he is on the crypto side. Have either of you guys met Richard Hart in person?
I haven't had the pleasure yet. No, I was jealous of everyone who did the UK meetup. Everyone's like, oh, you know, they got the pictures, they got to shake a hand. Yeah, the European tour, all that stuff too. And I remember when it was happening, I was like, oh, wow, when I go to Europe, I want to, you know, go hang out. But again, I tweeted the other day, like, where's the next tour? Is it going to be Asia? Is it going to be, America? He kind of did the America tour for a couple weeks or so too. But I'm not rolling it out. If it happens again, I'm probably going to try my best to be there. Or if we all get invited to a yacht and on the way to Hexaco, who knows who's if that's an invite only or how that works. We'll see. But I'd love to one day and tell him how much he means to, not even just to me. It's not even about how much he means to me. It's about how much he means to the world and what he can do for it. That's what I want to support. He's like Elon. People hate on Elon all the time. I don't care what he does. Like, again, there's a line for all these stuff too. Like, you know, don't murder or do some serious crazy stuff. But I can forgive so much of somebody if I know they're going to do great things. And that's something with Richard. I don't care about anything that he's done that has offended me or I didn't like, or, you know, that I didn't agree with. I don't care about that stuff because we agree on most of the other things. And I know what his mission is, and I'm going to support that as much as I can. So it's one of those things. Get out of your own way to help people who have huge missions in life. And that's something that I've learned throughout the years.
Yeah, I wanted to touch point on something Crypty Girl said with him not jumping on our heads, right? And I thought I had this thought at that moment because he doesn't need to, right? He's already financially free. He was already wealthy and doing whatever he wanted to do with his life. He talks about how he wasted years of his life playing video games, traveling, going to clubs and things like that. And all he wants to, the main thing that he wants to see happen is for people who are doing good and being, great in this world, wonderful lights, to live longer and to be able to do more of that. He wants, there's a great, quote that I've heard him say is, his cup is already full and he wants to see other people's cups overflow. And to me, it's so much bigger than crypto. It's so much more than Hex and, PulseChain. And to me, these are just stepping stones that he is utilizing, and things he's leveraging in order to bring attention and make a big difference in this world. And I'm so stoked, you guys. Like, it's been so hard, being here and thinking, just this needs to happen, and then this will happen, or just this thing needs to get, taken care of, and then this, that, the other thing. And I've just never, I think that, all of us can probably say on the screen here, we've never lost hope. We've never lost faith. We've never thought that, it was going to be the end of any of this, because we know who he is at his core and at his heart, and what he wants to see in the world is so much more than financial freedom for people, right? It's a lot more than that. And I'm just, I can't wait. Like, I wasn't in crypto before, right? Like, and another thing, one of you said something that made me think about this was, I am so grateful that I got into crypto via Hex, right? Like, I touched on, some other things in the past, but I didn't really get into it, right? When I came into crypto, it was through the Richard Hart ecosystem. And I am so grateful, because I've heard the horror stories, I've heard, like, Richard didn't have to save me from any of those things because I was already here. And this is where I came to. And I learned,
good, SJ.
Thanks to the community. Yeah. I learned, what scams look like, what not to do, how to not. We are the most educational, caring community in crypto, 100% hands down. And that's because we take the example from our founder.
That's so true. On the flip side too, we have the most, well, a lot of us, we have the majority of caring individuals too in the community, and a lot of other crypto communities have a lot of good people too. But you can see from a lot of people's willingness to help in this community and educate that that's true. Yeah. And yeah, you're right, SJ. Richard really, he loves to see when people are doing well for themselves. He loves to see when people are succeeding, and I really think that he wants good people to be wealthy. He wants to make a million millionaires, but he really wants the good people to be rich and to be wealthy. And like you said, SJ, it does go so much further than crypto, but crypto is where it starts because that's where it's easiest to make the wealth. But then hexagons, pulsicans, they'll go on and they'll have influence in every sphere, including the political sphere, which is great. But yeah, it's really good to see the aspirations he has. And even from an outside perspective, looking in as an outsider to the PulseChain community and looking at who is Richard Hart, one thing's for certain, that there's ego. But it's not bad because as an outsider, his ego will propel him to make Hex and PulseChain the most successful cryptocurrencies, and that's a good thing. He said over and over he wants to be a legend. He wants to leave a legend. He wants to have the best performing crypto assets. That's a great thing as an outsider looking in. As an outsider, you can bet on that. you can invest just solely on his ego, like to feel like really good about your investment, that he'll ensure that his projects do well. And he's always saying too that no expectation of profit from the work of others, which is great. So all the community puts in the work too. But those combined, the community and his work, is just, it's a recipe for success.
I mean, there's 3 people here, and we got to wrap this up in just a second because we got the next talk coming up. But I'll say this and hand off to SJ to take us out too. But I think there's 3 people. I want everyone to be clear on this. There's 3 people on this stage who have followed Richard for quite a few years, who believe in the ideals, who have persistence. We don't care what the plan is. We know it's going to work out. Like, we know, in our bones that this is the place where glory happens, and we want to be a part of it. And we've never even met the guy in real life. Like, it almost sounds strange. It's kind of like we've never even shook his hand, but I'm like, I believe in him, and I believe in his ideals, and I believe in this mission, and I want to be a part of it. I want to make a contribution, and that's why I'm here. Like, that is so powerful and underrated, and people don't appreciate that enough.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I haven't met him in person, but I've dreamt of him, and I know that I'm not. I remember kind of. Before.
I might have too. I'm not sure. I got to think. I might have. I'm sure. This stuff again. All these things get intertwined, and it's kind of like, have we dreamt of glory before? Have we dreamt of RH or other people in the community? Because we interact so much with them. I could see that.
He's been in my dreams twice, once in 2023 and then once last year. And both times it was like I was meeting him for the first time, and then we were just really good friends. We were just like really, really good friends. We're pals.
And I know we're not
how funny.
Yeah, he had done a survey a few years back asking if people dreamt about him. I remember, and there was a
really?
Yeah, there was a good number of people who have definitely had dreams about him, and likewise, I've had dreams about hexagons just in general. And before this stage in my life, I very rarely dreamt about people that I knew or knew of. Right, they were mostly kind of faceless.
Right.
So it really has tripped me out that this is the place where my dreams are kind of reflecting reality and continuing, the story, right? Like, as I'm asleep. And that's one other huge, awesome thing that I think keeps me entertained and engaged here, is how many synchronicities, how much it's just synchronicities is the best way to put it. Like, hearing people's stories of how they found Richard, hearing the way that people have connected with one another through this ecosystem. There's like, whatever it is that you believe, whatever greater force you believe in the world, like, there is something very special here, and I am so stoked to be a part of it and to be surrounded by like minds. That's been something that has been heavy on my heart my whole life, is that I've always wanted to be a part of community and a part of a group of people who were, going to change the world in some way, shape, or form. And I didn't know I'd find it here in crypto. And I'm so glad that I have, because I think the people that are in this ecosystem and are following Richard and his principles have even though we're all different, we're all over the world, right? I think there are some very basic things that we can all agree upon, and that we all want to see some kind of change happen, and we all want to be a part of it. So I'm grateful to Richard for building this community in the first place and bringing people together. And the fact that we're his greatest achievement, the community is his. He said that over and over again. That is such a wonderful thing.
That is so cool.
Yeah, to keep in our minds and to keep in our hearts, is of all the things he's built, we're the best.
So everyone out there, go do the work. Make this the place where dreams come true. Like, we all have these dreams. Let's make them come true. Go put in the work and do it. That's what we're doing. And I appreciate both of you. I mean, both of you have been amazing to have around the community, streams and what you're doing online and events, and just doing your best in whatever way you can. So, in-person meetups, we've hung out before and at different events and stuff, local events, and SJ's been doing PulseChain tour and all that stuff too. And it's just, when you get to meet people and be a part of the community, it feels different and it feels good. And I have gratitude for that. So I appreciate you both.
Likewise, Max. We're lucky to have you. We're lucky to have both of you guys in the community.
Right back at you, girl.